Namaste to all the wonderful women out there. So, today's concept, today, on what we are going to focus is about your seven chakra check. We all know that we are, we all have seven chakras. And these seven chakras are not some spiritual fantasy, but they are energy centers, energy patterns. Each chakra governs a life area. Each chakra governs a behavioral pattern and a recurring life challenge. When a chakra is weak, that area of life or ourselves become very unstable. And vice versa, when the chakra is strong, that area of our being flows very naturally. So, as a woman, it is important for all of us to know where exactly do we stand. It is very important for us to know which chakra in our system is balanced and which chakra in our system needs balance. Otherwise, we will always start or find faults in other person, in other situations, or in our surroundings. But when we come to know what are our seven chakras, where are we, where there is a huge area of improvisation, then in those areas we will work rather than finding faults. And the chakras where we are strong, we will ensure we utilize it. To understand this concept better, let me tell you out of the seven chakras, Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka, Anahata, Vishuddha, Agna Chakra, and Sahasrara. Out of these seven chakras, the first three chakras are survival chakras, or it can also be told as those chakras which defines our personality. And on the other side, there are higher chakras, which is fifth, sixth, and seventh chakra, which tells us about the state of our consciousness and the state of our awareness. And the fourth chakra is the bridge between the lower and the higher worlds. So, our entire seven chakra system, it is divided into three parts. The base chakras, the higher chakras, and the mid chakra. And the key point here is, remember, always only the higher chakras can fix the lower chakras. Lower chakras cannot fix the higher chakras. That is the reason why whoever is into meditation, that means their journey of higher chakras have started. You come into meditation only when you have crossed a stage of your karmic incidents or karmics or your karma cycle. That means only when a person reaches their fifth chakra, their Vishuddha chakra, at some point of their Vishuddha chakra, the journey of meditation initiates, it begins. So, whenever a person has even started with meditation, that means he or she have already entered the higher chakras. And if a person has not yet come into meditation, that means they're still operating in the base chakras or in the fourth chakra. So, remember, higher chakras can fix the lower chakras, and lower chakras cannot fix higher chakras. That is where, when people are not into meditation, that means they're still vibrating, they're still oscillating in the base chakras and the fourth chakra. That's why they are not able to fix their mind. They're not able to, a person, who are in their base chakras cannot open their third eye. A person who's in the base chakra cannot understand what the divinity is. Still they will ask these questions: from where did the universe start? Who was the first being? From where did he come? These all question comes from when we are in the base chakra level. But when you're in the higher chakras, you automatically understand that the entire creation, there is no beginning or there is no end for it. It is just the existence is there. So, when a person comes into meditation, that means when he starts operating in the higher chakras, very naturally and very easily, he fixes the base chakras. That's why, after you come into meditation, you come out of trauma, you come out of anxiety, you come out of depression, you come out of all your emotional patterns that you're carry forwarding, which is getting carry forwarded either from your childhood or from your past lives. Many things which did not get resolved before is now getting resolved after coming into meditation. Either you're in meditation or you're not in meditation, one thing is common. Everybody says you should not live in fear. They say, be bold, be courageous, just take the step. But before meditation, that becomes, that even the thought is also tough. But after coming into meditation, naturally, when your energy rises, the fear disappears. So you do not fix it with your mind, but when you are naturally aligning with the higher chakras, the fear gets disappeared automatically, naturally, effortlessly. Your entire effort is to sit in meditation. Why? Because when you sit in meditation, you get the gnana, and that gnana fix things. So higher chakras fix the lower chakras. See, how much ever you think, okay? Thinking is a habit of trait of the mind, which is the third chakra. How much ever you try to think, how much ever you overthink, you cannot find the way to intuition, right? That means base chakras cannot fix the higher chakras. You cannot force spirituality into your life until you are living in the ego. But when you start meditating, when you start living in the higher chakras, the portals of intuition gets opened. Your mind gets fixed. The pattern of overthinking gets fixed. So this is a clear indication that only higher chakras can fix the lower chakras. Now let us understand about each chakra. Okay. Root chakra. Root chakra is nothing but Mooladhara chakra. So this chakra is all about grounding. This chakra is all about stability. So if you are a person who feels safe, if you are a person who is consistent, that means your base chakra, your Mooladhara chakra is very strong. I will tell you in which kind of people or the people who have certain traits, their Mooladhara chakra is always imbalanced. And what are those traits? Simple. You will see these people whose Mooladhara chakra is imbalanced, okay? You will see these people often switching jobs. They're never fixed with one job. They'll go to one job, 2, 3 years, another job, 1 year, another job, 1 year, another job. When you ask them why are you switching your jobs, they'll say it is my ambition, to go there somewhere. And hence I'll keep switching. But if you see why they are switching, the hidden reason when you see their Mooladhara chakra is imbalanced. Therefore, they don't have stability in their life. They cannot sit in one place. That instability of Mooladhara chakra makes them switch, 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 switch. When the Mooladhara chakra is imbalanced, you will see these people often changing their houses. You will see these people often jumping in their relationships. If you see, especially this generation, there is one common pattern. If you talk to people, or if those people are really open to you, you will see one pattern that they're not satisfied or they do not close their life partner just in one shot. They'll say she's my eighth girlfriend or 10th boyfriend. They keep trying relationships, one relationship after other, again another relationship, again another relationship. When you ask the reason, they'll say, we are trying to find the right one. Nothing wrong, but if you see what is happening inside them is because of the changing relationships, so many relationships, their first chakra, base chakra, becomes imbalanced. That's why in today's generation, there is technology, there is a lot of money, there is a lot of travel. They're achieving everything that they want. But when you see the baseline, they're not secured. How much money they have, they're not secured. That's the reason they're switching into multiple relationships. Also, if you'll see another pattern, the people who have government jobs, by default, they have to, every now and then, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, there is a pattern that they have to get transfers. So, what happens naturally in these people, their Mooladhara chakra will be imbalanced. It's not Mooladhara chakra is imbalanced, that's why they're switching. It's also sometimes when you're switching, your Mooladhara chakra becomes imbalanced. So, very clear example. I've seen it in my family. Both my mom and dad, my mother and father, they are from the banking background. So, every 1 year, 3 years, or maximum 5 years, we always used to switch cities, towns, states. Of course, because of which I had a huge benefits. There was a huge adaptation. The mind was very flexible. I have learned about a lot of cultures, languages, different diversity of people. My mind really became opened. But when you see the pattern ultimately, there is no sense of security or safety because you're always running, running, and running. In the last 10 years, I've stayed in Bangalore. You know, after I came to spirituality, after I met Patriji, after the life made me settle down in Bangalore. And from last 10 years, I'm in Bangalore and I've seen huge changes in me. First of all, my nervous system has just calmed down. Previously, it was not calm because of the random movement. Even right now, I travel a lot, teaching meditation. I travel a lot to different cities, towns, and states. Still, my base, my foundation is in one place, so that travel doesn't affect me. That doesn't affect my first chakra. So, the first chakra, whoever first chakra is balanced, those people will be very secured people, those people will have high safety. Now, let us go to the second chakra. Second chakra is nothing but the chakra which leads our emotions, which is also called as sacral chakra. So now this chakra is a feminine chakra. So this is also a very new learning for me that even in chakras, there is male energy and female energy. That means male chakras and female chakras. So the second chakra is nothing but the feminine chakra. That means it's operating or it is governed by the feminine energies. So here what comes into picture is the emotional flow, creativity, pleasure, feminine energy. So when this chakra is imbalanced, often you will see mood swings. You will see emotional dependency. You will see suppressed feelings. And you will see feeling of guilt. So if you have feeling of guilt, that means your second chakra is imbalanced. If you have lot of suppressed emotions, your second chakra is imbalanced. If you have emotional dependency, means you are a woman who's financially stable. Okay, relationship wise, you're stable. You have a very good house. Everything around you is going good. But still, you emotionally you're dependent on one person. That means you constantly seek reassurance from people so that you have to feel good. That's emotional dependency. Your mood depends on one person's mood. That is emotional dependency. And mood swings, which we often see in women. So, mood swings is not wrong. Mood swings is portrayed to be wrong, but mood swings are not wrong. It's like an indicator. So, how do I put this? So, whenever there is mood swings, okay, like simple, if you're driving a bike or you're driving a car, in the dashboard there will be indicator low petrol, empty, E, right? On the dashboard. So when you see E on the dashboard of the bike or the car, you understand, okay, the petrol level is low and I have to refill the petrol. But this is how you take. You don't take it like, you don't feel bad, oh, petrol is over, am I going wrong in life? No, you don't see that way. How do you see it? Okay, the petrol levels have come down because of the usage of the vehicle. Now I have to refill the petrol, right? Similarly, when you observe mood swings in yourself or in any other women, it is an indicator that right now in this point of time, the second chakra is imbalanced. It's not for lifelong, it's only for that period of time. Again, when she gets into balanced, again the mood swings will not be there. For example, I remember just today what happened. I constantly went to find new places. I was teaching meditation, and evening just before the session, when I came back and I was meeting few people there. All were close friends. When I was meeting them, one of the person cracked a joke. And on that joke, I was getting so much of anger. On joke, we do get laugh, right? But I was getting anger. And I was like, please don't crack these kind of jokes. Then everybody was laughing on those jokes except me. Then I realized, I got that pattern that okay, there is a joke, and apart from me, everybody is laughing, and only I am getting angry. So that means my energy levels have gone down. Why? Because whatever I had, I poured in 5 sessions today. So naturally, the energy is down. So hence, the reaction is coming. You see, this is awareness. But if you're not aware, what happens? You say, oh, I have mood swings. I'm getting so much of anger. I'm not able to enjoy life. Anything is wrong with me. Nothing is wrong. The moment that awareness came, immediately I started laughing. Immediately, I came back, and that fixed the whole days of energy levels. And right now, you see, I'm very energetic, right? So all you need to do is awareness is the key. So, if you have mood swings, if anybody have mood swings, immediately recognize, okay, the energy is low. I have to do certain things so that my energy gets back, my energy gets up. So, this is about second chakra, which is your sacral chakra. And one more important information about this chakra is, suppose, just for a hypothetical example, in your life, in past you had a relationship and there was a breakup, okay, months or years passed, you have moved apart from that person, you have moved away, you have moved on technically, okay, and even the memories have faded. But long after, when you see that person again, or any traits, or you just hear about that person, or you hear anything which is connected to that person, and all the emotions have come back, then you'll suddenly think, hey, I have moved on in my life. Months or years passed, everything is fine. Still, still today, when I hear about that person, from where are all these feelings coming? That means the third chakra, the memory is thought, mind. The third chakra is cleansed, it is balanced. You have moved on. But second chakra has not yet cleansed. There are two things, emotions and thoughts. If thoughts are faded, that means third chakra is cleansed. But if emotions are still there, that means emotions are still stored inside. That needs cleansing. So when we meditate, naturally that gets cleansed, or at least with your awareness, things gets cleansed. Okay, I'm getting anger, I'm getting some kind of emotions when I see the photo of the person, or when that person is mentioned about. Okay, I don't have anything about that person here, but the emotions are still stored. That awareness itself cleanses things. So, this is about the second chakra. Now, let us understand about the solar plexus, which is the third chakra, which is also a chakra of mind, which is a chakra of identity, which is a chakra of control. So, people who are highly controlling, okay, people who are highly controlling, that means their solar plexus A is imbalanced, okay, Imbalanced, only when people are imbalanced, they control others. A real yogi will never control others. They will just be free. They will allow everybody, they will allow themselves, and they'll also allow everybody. So, if this chakra is imbalanced, then that person is driven by ego. And if when this chakra is balanced, a person has a clear decision making, a person has a lot of clarity. But when this chakra is imbalanced, there is controlling nature, there is overthinking, and there is always a need for validation. And when this chakra is imbalanced, there is lot of self doubt. So if you are a person, because 90% of the world is struggling with self doubt, so if you are also a person who has a lot of self doubt, then remember, it is not a problem with you, but it is a trait of your third chakra. It is giving a sign, signal to you that your third chakra is imbalanced. That's it. So, again, the solution is lower chakras cannot fix themselves. When you are into meditation, naturally things gets fixed. So, when a person starts meditation, naturally, in a very natural way, the mind gets fixed. You try to fix your mind, the mind will not get fixed. But the moment you close your eyes, you observe your breath, you ignore the mind gets refined with the cosmic energy and it gets fixed. That's why after you wake up from meditation, or after a consistent practice of few weeks or few months of meditation, you would see, previously I used to negative think a lot. Now negative thinking is not at all there. Previously, I used to fear a lot. Now that fear is gone. How? That cosmic energy has fixed the mind. So, a mind cannot fix the mind, but the soul can fix the mind. The meditation can fix the mind. So, that's why I always say don't overthink any situation. Don't overthink any kind of situation. And uh, if you see any people around you, it could be mostly men also. Sometimes, in the men in the family or men in the society, when we see them, they are control freaking. That means they are highly operated by the third chakra. And what is the fix for the mind? Two things. One is meditation, and the second is sound healing or music, because the sound pierces through these kind of uh, egos, fears, and it breaks the patterns. That's why sound healing is very effective. That's why in today's era where people are overthinking, sound healing is a medicine. So meditation helps, sound healing helps, music helps. Here again another example. Anything has happened in the past, okay, and you have, the emotions are dried up, the emotions are faded, but the incident has not yet gone from the mind. That means the second chakra is healed, but the third chakra is not healed. Again, sound, music, or meditation will help a person here. So this was all about the third chakra. Now coming to the fourth chakra, which is heart chakra. So when you see heart, okay, when you say even about heart, first thing that you remember is connection, connect. So heart is just not the connection between you and me or you and others, but heart is also a connection, a bridge, a connect between the base chakras and the higher chakras. One, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Two segments of chakras are connect with heart, which is the fourth chakra. So women are mostly, they are driven by heart naturally. That means they are in the middle path. So if you want to come to middle path, then you have to be a heart chakra person. So what are the traits of heart chakra? Love, compassion, gratitude, expansion. Beautiful qualities. And these qualities are naturally there in a woman. And with every situation, it only gets better and better. The beauty about a woman is, even when she goes through the beautiful moments or, the best moments of her life, her heart chakra expands. Even when she goes through the worst situations of her life, still her heart chakra expands. It is very rare that you see a woman getting bitter, and it is more that you see a woman always get better, right? So the heart chakra is a bridge between your personal survival and the universal consciousness. So, again, here what happens if a person is not in meditation? They will always be vibrating in the for 1, 2, 3 chakras. And when a person comes into meditation, okay, a lot many times it happens that after he gets into meditation, after they start seeing third eye visions, they always vibrate in the fifth, sixth, seventh chakras. They're always above. They're not grounded. They forget everything. They leave everything and they're like meditation, 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 experiences. I saw this vision. I saw that vision. They always speak about that. So in this case, also there is an imbalance. That means the higher chakras are good, but the base chakras, they have forgot about it. So this is where the heart chakra comes in the picture. When you're a person of heart, when you're a person of connection, naturally you balance both the worlds of the base chakras and the higher chakras. And recently, I was hearing a person's experience. So they have been to Bhutan, and today, in fact, very recently, when I met a person, absolutely a new person, I taught them meditation, and I was telling them that we are going to a Bhutan trip in this March. That's when they said that they have recently been to Bhutan, and she was sharing her experience where a non meditator, note this point, a non meditator who went to Bhutan was telling about how the Bhutan is all about heart chakra energies. It's all about happiness, the joy, and you just stay there and you feel something has got expanded. So she was sharing her experience where she has been to through multiple, heartbreaks in her life, where all the relationships in her life were bad, worse, and worst. And what happened was she even lost some of her family members, and so many things happened in her life. She got cheated, she got betrayed many times in her life, that once she just gave up that enough, I have been with my heart, now let me just be with my mind. But she's so used to being with her heart that she even could not be with the mind, and she could not even be with the older patterns because it was not serving her. So she was thinking, what should I do? And one day she just, before sleeping, she just closed her eyes and she said, just show me the path. I want to do something. I want to get healed. Please show me the path. And that is when she saw a Buddhist monk in her dream, and he showed her a way to Bhutan. And then that lady, she went to Bhutan. She has been there for 5 to 6 days. And she said, those 5 to 6 days, I just forgot about everything, about my office, about my life, my past, everything. And the moment I was there, I was just there observing, mesmerized with the greenery of the place, mesmerized with the mountains, mesmerized with the oxygen there, and mesmerized with the people, the food, everything. That after I came back, a new chapter started in my life where I don't know how the old heartaches, all I had, got fixed. Just like, you get wounded and you apply some nice cream over it, and, it's just gone. So she said a lot of healing happened to me just within that 6, 7 days. And I was thinking after coming back that this should not go. I have healed, but what next? And that is when you came into my life and you taught me meditation. And now this is it. I will start meditation and I will take my life in a new direction. So you see how beautifully the places heal us. And Bhutan is also a place, it is also called as the last Shangri-La. That means the last heaven on earth. So, generally, if you see in the countries like US, UK, those countries, they measure the world with profits, with power, with performance. Even when you see Bangalore, this city is driven by tech, with power, with performance, with profit. Here, people are always running. Today, I was just joking that, from my place, there is a cafe just 200-300 meters away. And if I have to take my bike or car and if I have to go there, it will take me 20 minutes. Whereas if I go by walk, it's just 2 minutes. So this is such a busy city, such a busy place that people are just running to survive, running for profit, running to innovate, running for performances. It's all driven that way. But when you go to these kind of Himalayan places like Bhutan, it is a place of well being, it is a place of compassion, it is a place of community, it is a place of inner peace, and it is a place of fourth chakra, which is the frequency. So, another incident, just 2 days back, one I was talking to a woman and she was telling, "Ma'am, I'm very much interested in coming to Bhutan, but I want to understand one thing. What will I get? What will I get when I visit that place? What will I get when I meditate there?" And I told her, whatever rust, whatever rust is there in your life, you will just get rid of it after you come there and you meditate, because that place will transform you. The doors of abundance will get opened once you travel there. Again, let me emphasize on this point. When we talk about abundance, abundance is not just about the flow of money, it is just one petal in the flower of abundance. If abundance is a flower, money flow is just a petal in it. Health, having health in abundance is a great gift. Having intuition in abundance is a great gift. Okay? Having a flow of speech, is a great gift. That also comes with abundance. Having great friends, connections, that is also is a gift of abundance. So sometimes you'll see there'll be a person who will have so many friends. It's a great sign of abundance. You'll see some people, they will always have so much of food around them. Great sign of abundance. There'll be certain people, they just have to tell a word and things will, people will just follow. That is a great sign of throat chakra abundance. There will be certain people who can see visions and they can guide, they can channel. Third eye abundance. There will be people who have great divine connections, with the entire cosmos. Sahasrara abundance. So, when you just talk about money, you're talking about Mooladhara abundance. Mooladhara, first chakra abundance. I have car, I have bungalow, I have lot of money. Mooladhara abundance. What about the abundance of second chakra, third chakra, fourth chakra, fifth chakra, sixth chakra, seventh chakra? So when you go to these kind of places like Bhutan, when you meditate there, what happens is the abundance of all the chakras gets opened up. And what you need in your life right now, which area you need the abundance, that you will attract. So once again, would like to welcome all the people to the Bhutan trip. The registrations are almost near to closing. So I request all of you, especially the women, whoever wants to come, please register for it. And exceptionally also for some people, we have opened up, if you want to come along with your family members also, you can come. Yes, 90% will be women, but for the people who are very clear that they only want to travel with the family, you can come. Just message me and I would revert back to you. All right. Now let us go to the fifth chakra. So today's session would extend with 5 to 10 minutes more, because after knowing about the fifth, sixth, seventh chakra, we will take a chakra test where we all will self evaluate ourselves that which chakra is strong in us and which chakra needs huge area of improvisation. So I kindly request everyone to bear with me for another 5-10 minutes. All right. So now let us go to the fifth chakra. Fifth chakra is the throat chakra. So when this chakra is imbalanced, what happens? People suffer with thyroid. And you will see that a lot of women suffer through thyroid more than men. And have you observed this pattern? So Why does this happen? This happens because women do not express, because they feel, if I be quiet, if I stay silent, I can maintain the sanity in my home, I can maintain the peace at my home. And she doesn't express, and that converts into thyroid, and later she suffers. So when the throat chakra is imbalanced, what happens? This chakra is first of all about karma. This chakra is about the truth. This chakra is about the communication. If your communication is weak, that is a clear sign of the imbalance of throat chakra. If you're facing lot of karma, that means the throat chakra is still imbalanced. If you know the truth but you're not able to express the truth, that means your throat chakra is imbalanced. So, when the throat chakra is balanced, there will be a beautiful expression. Your karma will start getting cleared, and whenever you speak, you will speak truth. And when the chakra is imbalanced, as I told you, you cannot speak the truth. You know the truth, but you cannot speak the truth. You keep over explaining yourself. It's not about it's needed or not. You keep over explaining yourself, and people who gossip, that throat chakra gets affected. So, karma is stored in the fifth chakra. So, how do you heal yourself? Is when you speak the truth. That's why we say go and teach meditation, because meditation is the highest form of truth. When you tell that, your karmas also starts getting burned. Patriji always used to say, practice meditation and teach meditation, because that will burn your karmas. The cosmic energy which you receive, which a person receives, it cleanses karma. And the meditation prachara you do, that also cleanses karma. So that's why if you want to make this lifetime your last lifetime, you have to be a Buddha, and a Buddha never sits at home. They always go out and teach meditation. From last 2 months, the greatest change that I have got in my life is I'm not sitting at home. Every day I'm running out to new people to teach meditation. There is not one day. Even today, I remember morning, after having so many classes yesterday, today also so many classes were lined up. And I got an option where they were telling, if you want, you can come the next day. But I was thinking, what if tomorrow the situations change? Not for me, but for the other people. What if the opportunities turn off? I should not do it. Today, the opportunities are open. I should go. I should teach meditation because it is dharma. And if I sit back at home, it becomes adharma for me. So therefore, I ran and I finished them. And tomorrow I have classes lined up. Day after tomorrow, every day until 11th of March. 11th of March, we are traveling to Bhutan. So until that day, I have classes lined up. And after coming back again from 18th March, the classes are lined up. So I have scheduled my entire year in a way that there is no gap for me, but I go out and I teach meditation, because today is the time. After 10 years, people would have already learned meditation. Whomever you speak to, they'll say, yeah, we are practicing meditation. That day, you will not have an opportunity to teach meditation, because already meditation would have been taught. So that time we have to focus on something else. But today, the ground is still fertile. So today, we must focus on teaching meditation. So focus on teaching meditation. And which meditation? The right meditation, Anapanasati meditation. Because when you teach others the right thing, your soul also gets evolved. So, this chakra is all about strong throat chakra. Is also, you will see when people have a calm expression, their throat chakra is strong. You see certain people, they're very beautiful with their communication. Need not be just meditators, even there are so many non meditators who are very beautiful with their speech. Strong throat chakra. There are certain people who have clear boundaries, strong throat chakra. You will see some people, they never shout. Despite of anything happens, they never shout. Strong throat chakra. So, the more truth you speak, the chakra gets more and more cleansed. And next, coming to the third eye chakra. So, this third eye chakra is all about intuition and clarity. So, if this chakra is imbalanced, then you will see that a person will be confused. If you have a person, if you are confused most of the times, because I'm not telling about mere confusions which comes here and there. No, those confusions are good. But if you are a person who's all time confused, that means the third chakra is imbalanced. But if you are a person who is a strong third eye, strong sixth chakra, that means your intuition will be beautiful. You will be a person of clarity. Initially, when I was into meditation, there were so many confusions in my life, so many. But as I started practicing more and more meditation, and as I started reading more and more books, attending senior pyramid masters, and listening to their experiences, my clarity increased, increased. Initially, I even used to worry how will I manage in my future, because I don't know what is right and wrong. But with a lot of experiences, today I am in a position where I can even guide others. So, if today you are in a position of confusion, do not get disheartened. With lot of practice of meditation and lot of teaching of meditation and lot of reading of right books and sharing and listening to the truth, you will also become a person of clarity and also a person of intuition. So, intuition is an art which can be developed. If you do not have intuition, do not worry about it. Intuition can always be developed. Okay. So even there were a lot of people who were asking me to do a series on intuition, and I have planned for that maybe very soon, maybe after the 8th March and maybe after the Bhutan trip. In a week, there would be two sessions. One is our Vidhyan Wednesday, and there would be another session which would be a series on intuition, and this will happen every week. So plans are there to start even this particular series. So I would let you know about it. So now coming to the last chakra, which is the crown chakra, also called as Sahasrara chakra. So this chakra is about oneness. This chakra is about divinity, and this chakra is about soul. So there are two connections. One is me connecting with you, which is the anahata, the fourth chakra. So when a person's anahata is strong, they connect very well with people. And when a person's sahasrara is strong, they connect with the divinity. No matter how many boundaries, you can have a lot of boundaries in your life. For example, I am a person who have clear boundaries. Whom I should allow, whom I should not allow. Where should I go, where I should not go. How much should I speak, how much should I not speak. How much should I take the inputs and where I should say enough. So I have clear cut boundaries. Okay. But how much ever having healthy boundaries is equal to having a healthy life. And how much ever boundaries you have in your life, if your seventh chakra is good, you will have great divine connections. So the boundaries in the physical life does not affect your boundaries in the soul level. But when you are an imbalanced person in the seventh chakra, you feel lost. There are so many women I see in my life, especially, who all come for counseling. They say, we are lost. Please guide us. That means the seventh chakra is imbalanced. If you are a person who doesn't have purpose, or who knows their purpose but not living their purpose, seventh chakra is imbalanced. That's why, if you see, in most of my session, I emphasize a lot about realizing your purpose and living your purpose. Every day, there is a checklist in my, in checklist which I follow, where every day I tick certain things. Like, did I go out and teach meditation to new crowd? That is a checklist for me every day. Did I empower at least one woman? That is a checklist for me every day. So there are certain things which reminds me, which makes me read whether every day, whether I am living my purpose or not. And there is not even a single day when it will go into, because I want to be very satisfied that today when I'm living, I'm living with purpose, and today I have not wasted even a single moment. So every day, the counselings which I give, the new places where I go and I teach meditation, every day it is a tick to the purpose that I'm living. And when your seventh chakra is strong, the first sign is you will have great inner peace. The another sign is you will trust life. You might not trust people, but you will trust life. And you will be a person of alignment. There will be an absolute inner alignment. So, to conclude this session, and before we take the score, let me tell you, there are male energies, there are female energies. So, the chakras which are driven by female energies are the second chakra, Swadhisthana, which is the emotions, the fourth chakra, Anahata, which is the heart, and the sixth chakra, that is intuition. That means a sense of knowing. That's why you will see in women that they just know things. They can read the things, they can read the aura, they can read the people very easily. Every woman by default, meditator, non-meditator, we just sense the energies of the people. That is because by default our second chakra, fourth chakra and sixth chakra are very, very active. So now let us all take the score. That means let us all give a self scoring to ourselves. Okay. So, what do you need? I'll just give 30 seconds to all of you. Please bring a paper and a pen, or a book and a pen. Okay? 30 seconds. All right. So, let us start. And I will also take this test along with you. Okay? So, let us start. So, there will be 7 questions. Okay? For 7 questions, for each questions, there will be four options. Option A, B, C, D. All you have to do is, when I ask I'll be asking you first question, and I'll be giving you 4 answers. All you have to do is, if suppose your answer is A, write 1A. If your answer is B, write 2B. If your third answer is D, write 3D. So just write the number and the option of yours. Okay, and we will evaluate at the last what is our score. So we all know ourselves, right? So let us take our test. So starting with the first question, which is for the root chakra. The question is, let me put down the question in the chat box. Yes, Neha, I'll answer your question. So, first question is, how secure do you feel about your life and finances? I'm just not talking about life, I'm also talking about finance. So, your options are: option A, I constantly feel unsafe or anxious. Whenever you think about life or finance, if you feel constantly feel unsafe or anxious, give A. Option B is, I worry often about stability. Will I be stable in my future? What if? Option C, I feel mostly secure. And option D, I feel deeply grounded and stable. Let me repeat the question and answers. Question 1, how secure do I or do you feel about your life and finance? Okay. And you don't have to post it in the chat box, it is for your personal writing. Okay. Option A is I constantly feel unsafe or anxious. Option B, I worry often about stability. Option C, I feel mostly secure. And option D, I feel deeply grounded and stable. Now let us go to the second question. How comfortable you are with your emotions and joy? Okay. Option A, I suppress my emotions. Option B, I feel emotionally unstable often. Option C, I can express emotions in a healthy way. And option D, I flow with emotions and enjoy life fully. I will repeat, how comfortable are you with your emotions and joy? Option A, I suppress my emotions. Option B, I feel emotionally unstable often. Option C, I can express emotions in a healthy way. And option D, I flow with emotions and enjoy life fully. Okay. If your answer is A, write 2A. If your answer is D, write 2D. Okay. Let's go to the third question. And this is about the Manipura Chakra related to confidence and power. So the third question is, how confident are you in making decisions? Option A, I doubt myself constantly. Option B, I seek validation before acting. Option C, I trust myself most of the time. Option D, I'm decisive and self assured. I'll repeat. How confident are you in making decisions? Option A, I doubt myself. Option B, I seek validation. Option C, I trust myself most of the times. Option D, I'm decisive and self assured. Now, let's go to the fourth chakra, which is related to the heart, love, and compassion. And the question is, how open is your heart in relationships? How open is your heart in relationships? So option A, I struggle to trust or forgive. Option B, I get hurt easily and close down. Option C, I love but with some boundaries. Option D, I love freely yet wisely. I'll repeat the question and answers. How open is your heart in relationships? Option A, I struggle to trust or forgive. Option B, I get hurt easily and close down. Option C, I love but with some boundaries. Option D, I love freely yet wisely. Coming to the fifth question, which is for the throat chakra, expression. How easily do you express your truth? Option A, I stay silent even when hurt. Option B, I struggle to speak up. Option C, I communicate clearly most times. Option D, I express myself confidently and calmly. I'll repeat. How easily do you express your truth? A, I stay silent even when hurt. B, I struggle to speak up. C, I communicate clearly most of the times. And D, I express myself confidently and calmly. Let's go to the sixth question, which is related to third eye Agna Chakra about intuition and clarity. The question is, how connected are you to your intuition? Option A, I feel confused most of the times. Option B, I overthink a lot. Option C, I trust my inner guidance sometimes. Option D, I strongly rely on my intuition. I'll repeat. How connected are you to your intuition? Option A, I feel confused most of the times. Option B, I overthink a lot. Option C, I trust my inner guidance sometimes. And option D, I strongly rely on my intuition. Okay, now let us go to the last chakra, seventh chakra, Sahasrara, about spiritual connection. Okay, and the question is, how connected do you feel to something? Listen carefully. How connected do you feel to something higher than yourself? Okay, option A, I feel disconnected spiritually. Option B, I question myself. I question my purpose often. Option C, I feel guided and supported. And option D, deeply feel connected and aligned. Last question, friends, I'll repeat again. How connected you feel to something higher than yourself? Option A, I feel disconnected spiritually. Option B, I question my purpose often. Option C, I feel guided and supported. And option D, I feel deeply connected and aligned. Okay, done. You all have your answers. Now, I'll give you an interpretation, scoring interpretation. Okay, if your answer is A, just next to it, put an arrow and write 25%. If your option is B, write 50%. If your option is C, write 75%. And if your option is D, write 100%. And I will give you 30 seconds for it. Quickly, for all the options you have written A 25, B 50, C 75, and D 100%. Is it done? I hope everyone is done with it. If it's two options, just write, give it like 50 to 75. Okay, someone has asked, like, what if I have two options? So, if you have two, give it a bracket 25 to 50, 50 to 75 based on whatever is your answer. So, now, okay. So, for all the people whose score, so each chakra will have a different score. You would have identified by now some chakras of yours will have 25%. Okay. If anyone who have their options on A and B, which is 25% or 50%. Okay. For example, heart chakra is in 25% or Vishuddha chakra is in 50%. That means everywhere, wherever you have written option A, B, 25 to 50%, there that chakra is saying that I am imbalanced and I need healing. Okay, or I need activation. Again, activation here doesn't mean do chakra meditation, that the energies in those chakras are dormant and it needs healing. Okay, now the place where the option you have provided is option C. That means there, those particular chakras, it is balanced. Okay, it is balanced, but it needs expansion. Okay, and the option where you have mentioned the D, fourth chakra, I mean, the fourth option, D, 100%, that means that chakra is strong and healthy. So now across each chakra, just mark and write need healing. Okay. Option, if it is option 3, right, it's balanced but need expansion. And option 4, strong and healthy. Just write across each chakra. All right, masters. So just give me a minute. Sorry, friends. So now you know where exactly do you stand, right? So in whichever chakras you have found option A and option B, which is 25 to 50%, it is a clear indication you need healing. Whichever chakra you got, 75, the chakra is good, the chakra is balanced, but it needs expansion. And wherever you have got fourth option D, that means it is doing exceedingly well. Now, you have got the information, you have got the score. What will you do with it? We don't follow any kind of chakra meditations, we do not activate our own chakras. Then what do we do? Friends, remember, awareness is the key. Awareness is the biggest key. The moment you are aware, the moment you are realized about a pattern itself, then it gets fixed. For many people, maybe till today's session, they wouldn't have known that, an issue is there in their throat chakra, or the issue exists in their heart chakra. Their heart chakra energies are imbalanced. The moment awareness goes there, that moment it gets fixed. And today, what did we do? Last 1 hour, completely we were focusing on our own systems, our own seven chakras, our own energy points, right? Even when I was delivering the session, it was very clear for me what are my strengths, what are my areas of improvisations. So, when I know what are my strengths, I'll be able to guide people better in those areas. And the places where I'm not clear, I will get clarity because already things are fixing there. I don't externally need to do anything, but already when my awareness goes, things fixes. So, final statement. If I want to give anything, then I would tell that meditate, and more than meditation, start teaching meditation. Start to teach, go out, teach meditation, reach out to new people. That is very, very important. One major change that I have seen recently after World's Meditation Day is on 21st December, we had our second World Meditation Day, and I was in Shimoga in attending the Yagna. After I came back, almost next 10 days, I was seeing there was no sense of I in me anywhere. Generally, I'm a very ambitious driven person. I have so many dreams, goals. I always think about achieving it and all those things. But after I came back, there was a sense of dissolution. And then when I carefully observed, I noted that since we attended a mass gathering of meditation, that I dissolves and a universal field enters and increases inside you. So make it a point whenever there is a yagna, you do attend it. And this time on 8th March on Sunday, the Vidhyan Yagna, third yagna is going on. And when it is Vidhyan Yagna, it is on Women's Day. Of course, it is open to all men, women, and children. But what happens when you physically come and meditate there is always remember physical is more powerful than, of course, when you don't have any option or you're struck, then yes, you do attend online. But when given a chance, you always prefer, when you prefer going there and you meditate there, what happens, since Vidhyan is the energy of women, and International Women's Day is all about women's feminine energies, on those days the second chakra, fourth chakra, and sixth chakras energy will be at its peak. So it will happen that so many people who attend the yagna on that day, their past blocked emotions gets surfaced and gets released permanently. The doors of the hearts which are closed or which are partially opened will get completely opened, and then you will see abundance of flow in your connections with respect to everybody, and you will see a great improvement in your relationships. If you are suffering in your relationship, I am telling you, please come attend the yagna. With so many women with their healing energies, your heart chakra will just blossom, and that will reflect in your personal relationships in life. And whoever attends the yagna, two things that they will undergo is their clarity will increase and their intuitions will become very, very strong. So when we attend these kind of yagnas, our karmas gets burnt, our ego, it dissolves. How much ever you listen to the concepts, the ego won't get dissolved. But whenever you are in a group consciousness, naturally the ego gets dissolved. So personally, once again, I invite all of you to the 8th March Sunday International Women's Day Vidhyan Yagna 3. It is happening in Mangal Mandapa Auditorium, NMKRV College, Jayanagar 3rd block. All you need to do is catch a metro, come to Jayanagar, get down at Jayanagar metro station, and it's just 2 minutes walk from there. So we are arranging breakfast, anadana, and lunch. So just come have breakfast, attend meditation. There are amazing women musicians who are performing for us so that we sit in meditation. I will be initially doing sound healing so that I can initiate and the meditation, and then it would be continued by the music meditation by the amazing women masters. And we have amazing chief guests this time. Last time we have felicitated five beautiful women who have achieved a lot in their journey, and this time also, as per the message I got, as per the intuition that I have received, I have got the names of five women who are going to be our chief guests this time. And believe me, friends, they have done a lot in their journey. They are the real spiritual empowerers who have single handedly have contributed a lot. And we all must learn from them. We all must listen to them, hear them out, and we must know what they have done. And when we listen to them, so many changes happens in us. Their frequency, it becomes our frequency, and naturally so many doors gets open to us. There will be culturals that day, amazing women, they will be performing, and a lot of people from outside India and different states of India and different districts of Karnataka are coming, and they're attending this yagna. So I request all of you, please do not come alone, come along with new people. Bring your family, bring your friends, bring your house helps, just bring people along with you. Just tell them, come, let's relax in the waves of the sound and music, and you will introduce a new world to them. So thank you very much, masters. Whoever are interested in the Bhutan trip, please message to me and I will revert back to you with the details. Please join and undergo this transformational journey. All these tours, all these yagnas, it is only done for the benefit of the humankind and for the womanhood. So please ensure you just completely squeeze down these opportunities and help yourself in this journey of transformation. Thank you very much. It has been a lengthy session, but thank you all for your cooperation. And again, I will see you next week on Vidhyan Wednesday. Thank you very much. All of you have a great night and a great weekend ahead. Bye bye.